What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe for daily updates on Bitcoin. We're going to be talking a little bit about the charts. We're going to take a look at the bullish and the bearish case scenario. Is everybody getting a little too bullish, or is this the massive bull run that everybody is starting to believe it is? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Ethereum's run at the end of the video compared to Litecoin's run last year and where we're at now. So definitely stick around. Should be interesting. Also, don't forget we have a free Discord group. There's a link below in the description. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome community. Totally free, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and your own research before investing or trading in any market. I want to remind you, we are doing a Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet giveaway. Not your keys, not your crypto. I do have links below if you do want to look at the other hard wallets I use. I have links down below for all of them. I think you get a discount with using my links. But all you have to do to enter to win is make sure you are subscribed to the channel, smash that like button, and leave your comment down below. I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week on Sunday. Let's get into it. The news headlines, just to get a feel for the sentiment. Bitcoin surpasses 12,000, then tumbles as volatility returns. Netwalker ransomware gang is storing 7 million in Bitcoin in SegWit cold storage. 418 to 302 to 385, while Ethereum saw extreme 30% price moves in 15 minutes. Well, they all did. As Bitcoin price regains momentum, here's everything you need to know. We read all this stuff in yesterday's, so still pretty bullish news. Fear and greed index, we're at 72. We dropped 3 points from yesterday, still in the greed zone. And let's take a look at our trend line here. We are getting support on top in the monthly, and it's around 11,280 as of making this video. Like I said, if this support line holds, we're most likely in the bull run. But as of right now, we made higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That does look like bearish divergence to me. 55 EMA on the monthly lies around 56 to 5,700. Let's look at the weekly. All right, so in the bullish case, guys, looking at this as a sort of a symmetrical triangle that we broke out of here. The measured move of that in the extreme bullish case is 2,700. Now, the problem being, if this is the bull run, that's probably as high as we'll go. If we get another retracement down and a slow movement up, taking the next year or two, maybe even 3, I think would be a much higher rise for Bitcoin. I just don't think it's ready to really pump that hard right now. Let's take a look at the falling broadening wedge that we broke out of right here. You can see it in the yellow. The measured move of that for the bullish case is 16,000. Now, if we zoom in here and look at that trend line off of these 3 wicks right here, we are getting resistance on it in the weekly, and that's around the 11,280, 11,290 range. See what happens there. If we do get a nice push up, come back down, test it for support, this could be the bull run that everybody's talking about. I just don't see it, guys. Volume's still declining in the weekly. One thing that shows we may have another push up is the weekly RSI here. As you can see, I have a wedge drawn in here. We had a touch up top. Resistance, support, and will we come back up and tag this? That could be the $13,000 to $16,000 range. If that breaks and this RSI closes the weekly up here, super bullish. Otherwise, rejection and come back down. Don't forget my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. If you haven't checked it out already, there's a link below in the description. A lot of cool crypto stuff in here. She can put anything you want on any of this stuff. Doesn't have to be just what you see. Just hit her up in the contact if you're interested. It's a great way to help support the channel. And let's take a look at the gaps. So we still haven't closed this gap here at 11,795. We almost got back up to it again yesterday, but if we zoom in here, you can see that that gap is still open up here. So there is a chance we go up still to close that gap. And if you belong to the Discord, you'll know I talked about it, I don't know, a month or 2 ago. If we came up and closed this gap first, I didn't think it'd be a good thing because I think we will still come down to close the lower gaps, and we'll talk about where those are, and I think that will lengthen the bull or the bear market. So right now we have a gap still down at about 9,700, or actually, sorry about that, I did that yesterday too, about 96.75. Most likely we'll come down to close this. All the gaps prior have closed. Although I've talked about in the past, I used to not like the gaps. I said one of these times the gaps are not going to close. It's going to trick everybody. That's still a possibility, but as of right now, all the gaps have closed, and we have a pretty scary gap. We'll take a look at that in a second, but we also have a gap here, and this is on the 8-hour. We also have a gap here around 60 or 76.25, and then the lowest gap over here being all the way down to, and I will zoom in so you can see it, all the way down to the 35.75 range. And again, guys, I'm not saying they have to fill, but chances are they will. They have all filled in the past. As you can see, they all, like the one up here, we had a wick down to close it. Do they have to close? Definitely not, but it's something to keep in mind. If you guys are interested in trading, I'm going to leave a PrimeXBT tutorial up top. Definitely check it out. By far my favorite exchange. It is an A exchange. They do not trade against you. They don't have an insider's trading desk. And you can trade Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, EOS, XRP. You can also trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, everything on this exchange. It's a great exchange, so definitely check it out if you haven't already and you are interested in margin trading. You can use my promo code Savy50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus up to 1 Bitcoin. Savy25 will get you 25% off your fees. Even if you're already using it, you can still use my promo codes. Put them in the promo code section. And let's get into the daily. As you can see, as of right now, we are still just making lower highs in the price action. I know everybody's extremely bullish here, and like I said, I just don't think Bitcoin's ready. As you can see, we'll zoom back in here as of right now. And on this chart, I do have the trend line on all of the wicks there, just like every other one, and as of right now we are still getting rejected underneath it, this dotted trend line right here. Let's take a look at my targets that we've had forever. Looking at this as a rising channel, we had a target down at around 6,900, and another one looking at this orange trend line, the target of that one was 5,500. And then if we look at the yellow here, if we do have a breakdown within the next week or so, could get us all the way down to, look at that, around the $3,600 range. Just a possibility, not saying it has to happen. As you can see, we topped out on the RSI up here. But again, looking at it on the bullish case scenario, just because it tops out in the overbought area does not mean it can't continue up. You can see what happened here when it's in a true bull run like we had over here. But you can see when we do have these rises too fast like that, the consequences afterwards are pretty ugly, and I do believe we could be seeing that here soon. But let's look at the RSIs. We talked about this yesterday. When we get too far away from the RSI, the 8, we do come back down and test it, which we did. We came all the way back down to the 13 the other day. But as you can see, talked about this in yesterday's video. This is a perfect example of a bearish engulfing candle. And that is on the daily. That's one of the best ones I've seen in the daily Bitcoin chart. So yeah, it's still suggesting to me that we come back down to at least test this area here around the $10,000 range. I have some more immediate targets. We'll get into that here in a second. And then we're going to compare the Ethereum run to the Litecoin run last year and see where we're at on that. I know everybody thinks it's a huge run, and it's just stick around. You'll like it. Or you won't like it if you're a Ethereum fan. But anyways, looking at the daily in a different chart here, we have the Fibonacci retracements. If this was our top here, of course we have our support here around 10,560, a break below that, Our next support is a 0.236 fib Fibonacci retracement at 10,187. If that was to break, could be looking at the 89.50 range. If that does not hold, 79.83. And the golden pocket zone where I have that target of 6,900. The golden pocket is actually between 67.40 and 69.90. And then, of course, if that was not to hold, I would expect at least a nice bounce there if we do get there. But if that doesn't hold as support, 5600 is the 0.786 fib. And then, of course, our gap down here. And again, guys, not saying the gap has to fill. I'm just saying be aware that the gap is there. So you don't get surprised if we do go fill it. Look at the RSI. And looking at the RSI, you can see we have a falling channel here. We had our 3 touches up here, like I said. Obviously, you see what happened there. Even though we were oversold or overbought, it still continued to rise. And that was the RSI resetting, as you can see. After each peak, price went down. Or I'm sorry, RSI went down to reset. Price continued sideways. Then another shoot up. Same thing. RSI reset. Price went sideways, up. Could we see that here? Definitely. And that's what I said. That could be, if that does happen here, we could be in a massive bull run like people think. But I'm not convinced at all. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Get the RSI off there real quick. And so the bullish case, looking at this as an inverse head and shoulders with a neckline of 10,560. The measured move being around 17,200, which could come up and retest this top trend line here. Then we have the 13.2, which would be retesting. If you see in the pink, the rising broadening wedge could be retesting that old support, become new resistance here, up to that 12,500 to 13,200, depending on how long it would take if we went there. Let's take a look at the EMAs and see what that's telling us in the 4-hour. So the EMAs are all squeezed tight here. We are getting resistance at the 13 EMA right now at 11,300. I'm going to zoom in a little more. Another drop, or actually we're getting resistance under them all right now at about 12,000 or 11,275. Next line of support here is around the 10,970, which in the 4-hour is the 55 EMA, and then we have the 200 EMA all the way down here at around 10,060. Now, we're going to go into the 1-hour and look at some more immediate targets as to what we might be looking at. First, we already took a look at these are the Fibonacci retracements over here. Let's take a look at the RSI in the 4-hour. So we have this rising channel. We had a smaller rising channel within. We broke down, and we have another trend line off of these wicks off the bottom of the RSI. I do believe we're most likely going to come down to retest this bottom one. If this bottom 4-hour trend line does break in the next day, couple days, whatever, we could be coming back all the way down to test this one. And I think that would be a pretty massive dump. Last time we were down there was over here at the 3,800. So just be cautious, guys. Again, I could be wrong, and we could just, blast off up. I truly don't see it. Let's look at the 1-hour. We'll zoom in, look at the RSI, and then we'll take a look at the more immediate price action. So as of right now, as you can see, all the EMAs are bunched up pretty tight here. 55 EMA lays around 11,300. So a 1-hour open and close above that, then we may continue up, and we'll take a look at that. Could we possibly come up and close that gap around 11,800? If you look at the orange lines here, I have a rising channel that we are within now, and actually, there we go. Matches up to these wicks. Right here, we had support, resistance. Move this down a little bit. There we go. So if we were to come up and close this gap at 11,795, let's take a look at this from the swing high to the swing low. that would get us to the 0.786 fib. So it is possible we run up here, guys, close this gap before continuing down. If we were to break down now, we are going to take a look at the measured moves. If we were to break down from where we're at now within the next few hours, the measured move is, guys, don't forget to smash the likes if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. I appreciate it. It helps YouTube algorithm out. So take a second out and smash the likes if you haven't already. And let's put a target here. This is the target for falling out of, let me move this over. This 10,780 range is a target if we fall out of here within the next couple hours. And that's just the measured move of this as a rising channel. Another way to look at this is a bear flag. And if we measure this whole move as the flag pull, put it down, if we were to break out in the next couple hours, would get us around the, actually right around the $10,000 range. But I do believe if we do get down to this range, that'll be breaking back through that 10,560, and I believe this will become resistance. This long-term trend line off of all these, the support, and if we did come down to test this within what is today, the 4th, by tomorrow it will most likely be a test of that 10,560 range. If that breaks, guys, I'd be looking for 10,000. Might come back up, retest this trend line before continuing down. Bearish case scenario. Bullish case, as of right now, short-term bullish is going to close that gap at 11,795. If we do break up and out of this rising channel from over there, would get us up to around the 12,235 range. Now let's look at a bigger bearish case scenario. And looking at this, let me move this over here. Excuse me. All right, so if we looked at this whole thing here as a rising broadening wedge, and we broke down from that 10.5, could get us all the way down to the 85 to 8,600 on that measured move. Guys, not saying it's going to happen, just saying keep an eye out here. And let's do a measured move from the breakdown over here. I don't know. Oops. I don't know what happened to my trend lines, but we had this rising, slightly broadening wedge here that we did break down, and we have been playing with the bottom line as resistance. We had a measured move of that. Gets right down to around that 10,000 to 10,020 range also. So there's a lot of confluence right there. Be aware, guys, we do have room on the RSI to come down to these levels and much further. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin's bull run that we had last year, 2019. It came up and retested the golden pocket zone over here. And that aligned with Litecoin taking off first. Then if we take a look at and that was what, 350% gain from the bottom over here. Now let's look at Litecoin. It came up just past the 0.36 or 0.236 fib and did not quite hit the 0.38. Didn't quite hit the 0.382 fib. And that was its bull run. Now this was caused by the hype of the halving for Litecoin. As you know, now we're in the hype. We had some hype for Bitcoin, and Ethereum does not have. So its hype is now DeFi and 2.0, which is just hype in my opinion, because it doesn't have, and it has to have a reason to go up. So they're hyping that. But anyway, Litecoin went up 578% with its hype rally. Ethereum is now on its hype rally, but as you can see, it didn't even percentage-wise, looking at the retracement-wise, did not even get as high as Litecoin did. Did get up 439%. Litecoin got up 500 and some percent. But as you can see, seem to be getting rejected at the 0.236 fib. The next level up, the 0.382 would be around 590. 0.5 would be 755. Golden pocket zone would be around 950. And I doubt it. I really do. But let's take a measured move here. Look at the bullish case of Ethereum real quick. And then I will get out of here. Let's just take a measured move here. Looking at this as a funky looking Adam and Eve. Bullish case, get up to, what is that, 650. But again, like I said, I think this is just a hype cycle. Ethereum doesn't have, so it's using the 2.0 hype and the DeFi Ponzi hype. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comment down below. That will get you entered to win the Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet giveaway. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.